Well, good morning, traders, from a very, very sunny Jersey this morning in the Channel Islands. It is 7:46 in the UK, so we're just coming up to the Frankfurt Open, and then after that, the London Open. So this is the review of the charts today, as of Thursday, excuse me, the 9th of July 2026. We've got our open position ratios here from Naked Forex Now, which is via IG Markets, and we have our sentiment email, which comes from Harmony Technologies, and that helps us to see the relative OPR in each currency pair, or each metals and currency pair. The Harmony Technologies will be adding crypto to their list soon, I hear, so we'll soon be able to see that as well. Anyhow, right, straight on with our review of the charts. I just came to this one because this is a trade that I've got on at the moment. I took it on the 2 hour because at the time we'd got this nice 2 hour moving average cross. I've just noted that we've got this sort of pennant pattern appearing, and hopefully, you never know your luck, we might see a breakout to the downside, which is what we really want. We're hoping it's going to come down to this level here. I'm going to do some videos to explain the indicators that I use, but at the moment, excuse me, just take a drink of green tea. We have the Gator bands in a nice place. So we had a Gator signal, alligator signal, on the 2 hour just here, where it crossed the red indicator line, the red moving average line. And now we're just doing the same thing again, a bit of confirmation here on the 2 hour now. We're 12 minutes to this 2 hour candle closing, as you can see on Trading View. You get to see exactly what's left of each candle. So we have 12 minutes left, so hopefully we're going to get a nice big bearish candle at 8 o'clock leading up to the open. Okay, anyway, that's that trade. This is another trade that I had on yesterday, which was here. So I took it because it was a 1 hour Gator. So let's move to the 1 hour chart here. So I just really liked this. It was a trendy kangaroo tail, and someone asked in the comments, what's the difference between a kangaroo tail and a trendy kangaroo tail? A kangaroo tail on its own is an indicator towards a reversal, but a trendy kangaroo tail can if you like, confirm a trend continuation, and in this case we could see it here. I'll put an arrow to this exact candle on the 1 hour. I just really liked that formation. So we got an uptrend, we got a pause, we got one pseudo kangaroo tail, trendy kangaroo tail there, but then this one printed. It collected the liquidity in this area, and it was a really good signal that the market was about to move. What I should have done, or could have done, is, so I collected, what was that, 1.87R on that. What I was swimming at the time when this great big green candle appeared. If I'd been at my desk watching the charts, I would have set a trailing exit, or I would have taken some profit there, probably some profit a bit later on, and then trailed the rest out, and it would still be ongoing. But I didn't get the chance because I was swimming and living life, so that's okay. Right, that's the pound yen. So we're not trading that anymore because that trade's ended. We may get some more signal on that, but then again, it's Thursday, so I don't tend to get into a trade on a Thursday unless it's super interesting and I believe it might move quickly. Okay, so let's dive into it. We'll clear our OPRs from yesterday morning. Clear them all down. Always start afresh. It's a new day. It's a good attitude in life as well, isn't it? Okay, pound New Zealand, pound Kiwi, let's have a look at you. So we've got these, the dark blue are stronger signals, the light blue are weaker, bright red, stronger, orange are weaker signals for the sell. These are buy, those are sell. Okay, so pound New Zealand, we've got 31%, 69% people short. So we'd be looking for a long setup. Let's have a look on our relative OPR email from Harmony Technologies. Plus 73, so that's really nice, isn't it? Let's see where we were. I always do the analysis on the 4 hour. Okay, so it's slightly down. I thought that was up, but never mind. Okay, we're just in the bottom of this box, but you can see maybe we were off for a move. Let's have a look. Yeah, the 1 hour is just crossing the moving average on the 1 hour. We may get a Gator signal on that, but the top of the box is only here. So at the moment, I'd either look to take a signal down here or up here when it's confirmed a breakout of the box. But for now, we'll keep our eye on it. That's the state of play at that one. With that one, pound yen, 68% short. So let's have a look where we are on our. There we are, 64. Let's have a look where we were yesterday. I keep that because at the end of the week, and I'll show you what I do on my weekend review, I use that for my weekend review, so I'll just pop it down there, further down there on the chart. Okay, let's have a look at our open position ratios for the pound yen. It's plus 64, so it's not really changed a massive, great big deal. But it's slightly less bullish than it was. Let's just put it in the right bucket, which is down there now because our trade has ended. That's the pound yen. Where do we want to go next? Pound cat. My favourite pair. Partly because my son lives in Canada and I live in England. So it's kind of our currencies, if you like, isn't it? Okay, so I was hoping that this would make a move down here to collect some liquidity. It didn't do that. It's just given us a Gator signal. So let's have a look at the pound card. We're at 47s. The OPRs are moving slightly bearish, but the chart's telling a different story. And the chart on the 4 hour has just given us a Gator signal there, right there, and it's a good one actually, to be honest. Potentially we would have a trade on that if we wanted it, but would have preferred if it came down here and collected that. So that I'm going to change that into my signal. There is a 4 hour Gator signal. I'll explain this again in another video. And the green moving average is above the red, so that's actually, it's actually a pretty good signal. But look at that, we're late, aren't we? Because it's already made the move, so we're already there. So that changes our profit ratio to 1.61 instead of where it could have been on the entry to that candle, 2.4. 2.4 would be good. Let's have a look what it's doing on the lower time frames because I am interested in that trade. Okay. We've got a change of character on the 2 hour. That was our Gator signal on the 2 hour, and again the green line is fanning out, the green moving average is fanning out again. That was our signal on the 1 hour, or even no, potentially this one and this one. And we had a nice deep retracement on that from that perspective. But again, yeah, train's left the station really on that one. Let's have a look on the 6 hour. Again, that's our Gator signal. We should have, that should have been our entry point here. So again, we're late. 8. Yeah, I wouldn't really take that because it didn't fan both sides of the red moving average. Have a look at the 12, same with the 12. Okay, so it's only on the lower time frames and we slightly missed the boat on that, but never mind. It is what it is. Okay, but we'll leave our little notional trade going there and see how it runs. We'll come back to that another time. Okay, pound CAD. Go back to the 4 hour where we do our analysis. And what do we have in right? Pound Swiss. Okay, pound Swiss. Yeah. Okay, so it's closed quite definitively above our box that we had going on here. So let's have a look at the OPRs. So 72% are long. 72% of retail clients are long. Let's have a look at our relative open position ratios. Now then, this is telling us a different story. So 79% are bullish here. So it's kind of less, that's decreasing. But our relative open position ratios don't align with our open position ratios. Hence why it's in this bucket down here. I think the chart's very bullish. I would definitely, potentially, if the stars were aligned, which they aren't, I would take a buy trade on that. What you have is a really nice, on the 4 hour, definitive close above this resistance, support and resistance, support, and then on the 1 hour, again, we've got a really nice displacement candle moving through that support level. It comes back to retouch it, and then it looks like we're off to the races. We do have a little pennant, flaggish pennant setup going on here. So potentially it'll come down, it'll come to the downside, collect some liquidity, and then it'll go off to the races. But our OPRs are not telling us that. Our relative OPRs are confirming that. But of course we won't take that trade because the stars don't align on it. Okay, pound Swiss. Euro pound. Now this was the one where my broker took some pretty wild spreads on, I think it was Tuesday night, stopped me out even though my trade didn't actually go to my my stop loss. I had a response from the broker, and they just said basically tough luck. So it is something to be wary of. I could have logged on at 10 o'clock on Tuesday night and widened my spread. I didn't do it. I got caught out. Sorry, widened my stop loss. I got caught out. It's part of the game, but as you can see right now, the trade is going in the expected direction quite nicely, really. We got that. Sorry, let's move to the 4 hour for the analysis. So we even got a Gator signal. It didn't retrace hugely, but it was on a point of resistance. So we got our Gator signal there, and essentially we're off to the races. So we'll keep our eye on that one. It is what it is. Unfortunately, these things happen. It's trading. We move on. Okay, Euro New Zealand, which is, so what we're saying is we're going to move this down a bucket because it's not very close to the moving average on the 4 hour anymore. Let's have a look where the Euro, sorry, I just want to check the moving averages on these as well while I'm at it. Yeah, they're all pretty far away. Now here, I can actually move that up to there because Look what we've got going on here. We're actually aligning with a touch of the moving average. I thought this would, again, we've got our trend line squeezing price into some kind of formation. Then let's have a look at the sort of relative OPRs from Harmony Technologies. So we've got 31%. They're wavering, aren't they? Not quite ready yet. Perhaps it'll come down and collect some liquidity in a big move. Maybe it won't. If it does, then that's a good place to buy. I've got a note on there to say we don't have the MA1 with us, so let's have a look, which we don't. So we would look for that to come up, meet this, touch it, and then run. But at the moment, we're not getting much in the way of positive signals to buy on that. It's saying keep an eye on me. Okay, Euro Swiss. Where far out though? Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss. Bearish, neutral. So the OPR is down to line on the Euro Swiss. So we've got the okay. So we didn't have the relative OPR on this, so we're going to get rid of those. I've decided they might be more confusing than helpful. So where we don't have the alignment, I'm not going to put a notional trade on. I'll just basically indicate the direction with an arrow. Where we do have a trade, i.e. in one of these pairs that do align, then I will put a notional trade on if I don't take it in actual fact, but I should, under my own system, take it. But anyway, there we go. Right, I'm just going to clear these off quickly. They were last week's. I thought I'd already done that, but I haven't. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so we've got Euro Swiss, which is close to the moving average. It has and the moving average is on its side, on our side. Let's just double check where that one was again on the old Euro Swiss plus 38. So it's less bullish on the relative OPRs. Again, we just keep our eye on that one. Nothing too special. EuroCAD is next. Okay, so that one went into our, I think it was down here. Yeah. So it's not had much aligning in it on it for a while. Let's just see where we're at. Do we have a moving average? Are we close to the moving average on the 4 hour? Yes! We are, look at that. Okay. So what's happened? We're in a box. We've just hit the halfway line, which is quite significant. We've close to the moving average on the 4 hour. Let's just see where our EuroCAD plus 11.8. So these are increasing. Plus 11. Now, I bet you that we have a trade on a lower time. We don't. Okay. Maybe the 2 hour? Maybe have a trade on the 2 hour? We've got a lovely Gator signal on the 2 hour, but we don't have the moving average on the right side of us. Sad face. Okay. Yeah. What can I say? Sometimes that's life, isn't it? But if the moving average 200 was on our side on that, that would be a good trade to take us to the top of the box. It isn't, so we're not going to take it. Let me just double check that. Point of interest on the 4 hour. We're looking when we look for a point of interest, we're looking for a point where the price has touched from the downside and the upside. So if you look there, it's touched, and there it's touched. That's one. It came back, touched it there. But our price is here at the moment. Do we have? Not really, do we? Because it hasn't come down and hit it recently on that point. Let's just see. No, that would be a good point. Yeah, and it's hit it from the upside and from the downside, and then it's repeatedly. So yeah, we've got a point of interest, but let's have a see where our price is again. Maybe we're gonna tip into really bullish territory, and yeah, perhaps we'll break out to the upside of this box. That would be worth keeping an eye on, wouldn't it? And that's a good price to look for it to return to. It's a nice looking chart though, isn't it? See what we've done with this trend line. We could actually move that now because we've got a little bit more confirmation that the trend line is actually from this 4-hour order block. So yeah, anyhow, really nice on the 4-hour. Not, yeah, I wouldn't take that. I mean, I did on the Aussie Swiss, but yeah, it's not an A-star trade, it's an A trade. That. But anyway, there we go. Right, okay, Euro CAD. Where do we want to go next? USD CAD is here. So where's the moving average on the USD CAD 4-hour? Let's just check that out. Okay, so we're in alignment. We're not close, but according to my notes, we didn't, last time we looked, have the moving average on the 1-hour on our side, and we still don't, so we wouldn't trade that. But let's just make a note of the relative OPRs. USD CAD is plus 62, so we've not really changed a lot, have we? Plus 62, okay. It looks, we've done a bit of a trendy kangaroo tail, although it didn't close in the body of that candle, but it has come down wicked and will probably, let's be fair, it's probably going to go to the midpoint on that, at least the midpoint, as in this red line and the blue dotted dash line. But we don't have a trade because we don't. This doesn't align. Under my rules, you may have your own rules, you may develop your own rules, but those are my rules. Okay, USD CAD. Sorry, let's have a look. CAD Swiss. Where are you, CAD Swiss? Must have missed it. Here we go. Bearish, minus 44%. So 4-hour. Just noted that in my brain that we don't have the MA1 still. What do we say? Minus 44. So it's less bearish. I did mark on the chart where the direction I thought it was going to go, and it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. But and there, look, we've got our Gator signal with that red candle, but we don't have the MA1, so we're not going to trade it. Bosh. Okay, CAD Swiss. Aussie New Zealand. This was a trade we had on this week, wasn't it? I think we got stopped out on that. Aussie New Zealand. What happened? Yeah, we got stopped out. I remember that. Yeah. We lost 1 hour on this. Okay. We lost 1 hour because I thought, ding, 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 it had adhered to the trend line. We got a little kangaroo tail. I thought, okay. Now, if I'd taken that trade just, I don't really want to move that because I do want to use that for my weekend checks, but yeah, it's a tough one because we could have said, oh, well, there's a pseudo trendy kangaroo tail just there. We could have bought on that, but if we'd done that, we would have been stopped out. So then again, when we were stopped out, we could have said another pseudo kangaroo tail just there. And if we took that trade, then we would be looking at excuse me. That would have been a 2.81 winner. What I actually did was take it too late, being brutally honest. So it had already done a bit of a dance, but I did think there was a high chance it would reach that target. It didn't. So then I reassessed. I thought, well, okay, Emma, the market's proved you wrong. So where would be the next good point for a buy trade? I thought it was there. Hence why I noted in the last video that arrow. I said maybe it'll come down and collect some liquidity just there. And when I put my arrows on the chart, I put them in exactly the place I think it's going to collect liquidity. Now it has gone to there. It's not confirmed to us that it's changed its mind yet. So potentially it might go even further than that. But it's done the dance. So when I put this notionally on the chart, I said that would be a good place for a buy trade. I would now adjust that stop loss to accommodate this order block on the 1 hour. But I wouldn't take that trade yet. We've got some very bearish price action there. We don't have any Gator signals, and I'm still waiting for a confirmation that it's changed its mind. And we don't have the MA1. So no trade for us today. Thank you very much. But oh, look at that. So it's gone, it's only +7 on the relative OPR. So we've been as high as 61. So that was possibly at the moment when it did its, it's a good move. But anyway, not to worry, it's +7 now. It's not enough for us. So that's a no trade. But a possibility if we look out for it. Aussie New Zealand, Aussie Swiss. Here we go. Oh, this is our trade. -33. Aussie Swiss. Let's have a look how we ended up. Oh, nice. Okay. So what happened? We got a really nice, strong, bearish candle, which is what we want and need on this trade. It's retraced. That's okay. We can be patient, see how it pans out. All the Gator bands on the 1 hour are in the right place for us. Price is squeezed into this box. We might get a candle up here somewhere just to maybe collect some liquidity because of this pattern. Then again, we might just get a breakout to the downside. That would be the good answer to that, wouldn't it? Anyway, where did we mark our? No. Okay, so it's slightly less bearish. -33. But price action is good. So yeah, we will leave that. Okay. Aussie Swiss. Now where are we off to? Aussie Singapore. Aussie Singapore. Sorry, we still don't have our MA1, do we? So it's a no trade. It is. Can you see? Hang on, let's just put the numbers on. -48, so nothing's changed on the relative OPR. Can you see what's happening to price? It's doing that, isn't it? Again, it's being squeezed on this lovely Thursday to make a decision. We already had a winner there on that, but we would look to, well, it wants to come down to here, really, let's be fair, but it's not quite ready to do that yet. It's not showing us the signs. Okay, Aussie Singapore. Let's try and, so dollar Singapore, we don't have much aligning on the dollar Singapore. So again, we're in the wrong place because the OPRs are telling us it's bearish. The relative OPRs are, again, in the opposite direction. They're telling us it's bullish. That's a little trendy kangaroo tail if it were bullish, which this and this are telling us it's bullish. The actual OPRs are telling us it's bearish because, according to the actual OPRs from IG markets, 74% of people are long. It could just be that not many people trade the USD Singapore, which may be the reason, which would be the same as the metals. But anyway, that's probably another topic for another day. Okay, that's the dollar Singapore, the Swissy, where are they? Oh, here, sorry, right next. Okay, so let's just see what we've got aligning or not aligning with the Swissy. Yeah. Swissy plus 38, nothing's changed on the relative OPR. People are not changing their mind too much. No relative OPR or MA1. As I said at the beginning, I didn't take this trade because of those reasons, and it failed. Look, if you look there, what it did, it tapped into that liquidity with that kangaroo tail, and now it's falling. The kangaroo tail in itself was a nice signal because it was off that trend line here. But it's not a good enough signal. At the end of the day, and if that candle closes below the red moving average at 10 o'clock, which is in 1 hour 41 minutes, so we've got quite a long way to go on that candle, but if it closes bearish and below the red line, and our green moving average is below the red, then that would be a sell trade. It would be a confirmation of that trade, but I'm going to delete that. It's not really choosing a direction at this moment in time. You could also argue that it's doing that. Yeah, something like that. Maybe. We'll see. I'd probably more go for that, to be fair. So we sort of had a breakout to the upside, and we now had a breakout to the downside, but this candle isn't closed for quite a long time yet, so we do need to be patient and see what's what with that. That's the Swissy, but we don't have the moving average 4 hour on our side. We do have the relative OPR price action in a way. Price, I said that. It's a tough one. I wouldn't, for a short-term trade, I wouldn't choose a direction on that, to be honest. Okay, so let's leave that one. Swissy. Yen. Which is up here. Let's just see how close it is to the moving average, because we've got that it's quite close. Let's just see what the plus 80, no change on the relative OPR. It needs to choose, doesn't it? Again, we've got another trend line right here, squeezing us up to this level, which is a very, very key level. So does it break out to the upside? Does it fall? May fall temporarily, collect some liquidity here, here, or here, and then go long? We don't know. So I would say we still wait for confirmation. But as this mark reminds us, the yen is being, the Japanese government are adjusting the price of the yen because it's at an all-time high, I believe, So yeah, hence these huge, ridiculous candles. So that's not a market that I would trade at the moment, but we can always keep an eye on it. There's Swiss yen. Let's have a look, slightly more reliable. Okay, so we do have a notional trade on this, but I put that it was unconfirmed. So the trendy kangaroo tail on the 1 hour. Actually, look, we had one on the 4. It wasn't really great trendy kangaroo tail because price hasn't paused and it didn't come down and wick into it. But let's have a look at the 1 hour one that I saw, because we can always review these things. Oh, it didn't. So, okay, so what I marked on there, trendy kangaroo tail on the 1 hour, but it was unconfirmed. What it didn't do is create a trendy kangaroo tail. What it did was basically a kind of a U-turn, but it wasn't it wouldn't have been a signal in my world, so that's not a proper U-turn. However, that said, obviously the trade is succeeding. So although it wasn't confirmed, so I didn't take it, it is aligning in our bucket, so it would have been a trade, but I wasn't around the charts to take it, and I didn't take it, but it's going in the right direction. Okay, enough said. Swiss yen, Kiwi. So is everything? Did I? No, I didn't. I don't think I moved. So Swiss yen, sorry, 13. Okay, so it's more bullish, which would be, yeah, it aligns, doesn't it, with what we were just saying. Okay, so the Kiwi, where are you, Kiwi? Minus 49%. No, according to, oh, sorry, I just want to double check that that's close to the, yes, it is close to the moving average on, sorry, on the 4 hour. Oh, it's a moving average cross on the 4 hour. Okay, I didn't notice that. Interesting. And if you like, what we do have here is from that order block is a trend line. So if that trend line keeps going, let's just mark it in blue, then our trade is gonna win. Our notional trade is gonna win. But yeah, some MA4 cross. So I'm just gonna note that on my chart. Because a lot of things are aligning on that. Let's just have a look at the 1 hour, sorry, again. Yeah. Train's left the station. Okay, never mind. That's the Swiss yen. Sorry, what are we doing? Okay. Oh, Kiwi, which we've just done, I believe. Did we? Kiwi, minus 49. No. Okay, so it's less bearish. Let's just see the chart. Ooh, it's not bearish at all, is it? That chart is not bearish. Not by anyone's stretch of the imagination. I did mark that I thought it was going to possibly go up to there. That's a very long shot. Obviously, it's quite a long. There's quite a few pips up there, but we would have to wait until it. See, this is obviously an area of liquidity there. Let's have a look on the 4 hour. Yeah, that's why I did that. Okay, might even do that. Anyway, yeah, we wouldn't trade that. We can't trade that. We don't have any reason to trade that in terms of price. Let's just have a look at the MA1. Yeah. No, that's staying right where it is. So sorry. Okay, New Zealand, Swiss. Minus 46. Let's just, so is it close to the moving average like we think it is in our bucket? Oh, it is. Oh my goodness. Okay, this was, let's have a look at the moving average on the 1 hour. if you were trading the relative OPRs, no, sorry, no, relative OPRs are not. If you were trading price action alone, then that is, it's kind of an Acapulco on the moving average. So what it's done is it's broken the moving average. It's come back with that testing candle to test the level, which is basically we can use that as dynamic support and resistance. It's tested it, and now it's possibly going to break to the upside. Okay. I mean, it's going to do this, I think. But we don't have the OPRs. We've only got price action. Price action, we've got the moving average, and it's also breaking this trend line. But yeah, that's a possibility. Anyway, that's that one. And finally, the New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen, where are you? There we go. So, New Zealand yen. So 4 hour moving average cross again. And it's doing pretty much, well, you can understand why, can't you? Because it's doing the same as its partner there. As in, it's broken to the upside of the moving average, and it's then printed a candle just to touch that dynamic support and resistance, and now it's probably going to go off to the races. Let's just see where the New Zealand yen is. Minus 55. The OPRs are telling us a different story than the price action. Oops, sorry. So we won't trade that, but yeah, let's mark an arrow on the chart for what we think it's going to do. We think, and bear in mind it's moving back into this box. So that was almost a double bottom, and it's just broken the midpoint of that. I did there actually, to be fair. And now I do think that's a really nice strong long signal, but possibly, I think to there is a minimum, possibly to there, and maybe to there. So I'd say chances of that 60%, chances of that maybe more than that, 80%, chances of getting to there 60%, chances of getting to there 20%. Anyway, that's just my thought train. Let's just have a look at gold and silver, because I do think they will be, gold and silver are bearish. Let's just have a look on here. They're showing neutral and FX SSI, so we'll have a quick look at those. They are bearish for IG, so we'll give them a quick bearish tag. Gold, okay, yeah. I just don't want to see that as so gold relative OPR minus 15. Chart's pretty bullish to me, I think, for a while. Short term, but we do need to see what it does when it reaches that level. Okay, so bearish minus 22 on silver. Don't want to see that as strongly. Oops. Minus 22. Okay, so let's have a think about this. So that one actually aligns. Oh wait, so do that one. What am I talking about? Yeah. Actually, this is a bearish move out of that box, but this is a key level, so we wouldn't, yeah. Okay, so actually those are aligned. You could argue, oh, 1 MAX, let's just have a look at that. Yeah, that would potentially be, if it goes, which it almost, I mean, I would possibly sell that at that level and sell it probably down to there. But it's definitely going to go to there, I think. So that's a good price, because if you just look at the numbers on that, you'd have your stop loss above that fair value gap. You'd have your take profit down there, 1.89R. Why am I not going to take that? I'm not going to take that because sorry. Just trying to give you my actually that is a good signal. That is a good signal. I'd have to wait, because what I would do is on that one is I would wait for some confirmation here on the lower time frame. That has changed its mind right now. It's bullish, so it's probably going to fade out somewhere there and fall. I wouldn't take that now. Possibly take that later. I do think that is the move it will make, but anyway, never mind that. Again, you've got that. Sorry, 4 hour. Let's just check that out. Yeah. But this is not so good. It's because of this. I don't like that really, and it's hanging out a little bit too long. So that also would put me off a trade on silver. But that's a lot nicer setup, the silver trade. Anyway, that's that. That's our market evaluation today. We can move the euro yen out of that bucket, and we can move the pound Singapore out of that bucket. I will go on and I'm not going to do that on this video, but I will go on and just mark the relative OPLs on these charts, just so I can keep an eye on them. Let's just have a look at crypto today. Yeah. I really want that to come back up and fire off, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. This is a big fat hot mess. Bitcoin, yes, still in this little downward channel, isn't it? But we've got a moving average 4 hour. So potentially it'll come and collect some liquidity. Then what will it do? We don't know. We wait and let the markets tell us. Same with Ethereum. It's got to tell us what it's going to do at this level. Now it's showing us some bearish signals there. You've got a 4 hour Gator, and the green moving average is sloping downwards significantly, so that's pretty bearish. So just have a look at the Gator signals on. Yeah, that's bearish, sadly. And ditto. I mean, not quite. They're a bit jumbled up, aren't they? Yeah, messy. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm going to do some other videos on the indicators that I use and various other bits that you might find useful. But anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Wish you happy trading. Take care.